For anyone keeping count, today Trump has refused to take questions from certain media outlets just a short while after, in a bizarre moment, a camera operator was abruptly removed from the room during Trump's remarks at the Kennedy Center, just when he appears to veer off into one of his unhinged rants. But free speech, am I right?
A lot of money. As you know, we put down some early tariffs on people and countries that were not treating us well. And that's both
I think that.
Yes, sir. And when you signed the CR.
Who are you with?
Sir, I'm with NBC.
That's the same one. I don't want to talk to NBC anymore. I think you're so discredited.
For the second week in a row, cameras were kicked out of a Trump event. Last week, reporters got the boot from a business roundtable event featuring President Donald Trump as Trump doubled down on his steep tariffs, calling them, quote, a big win.
Bank, they weren't.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've also mentioned rebuilding the American top priority. And I guess, what's your strategy to lower the overall cost of living, make everyday expenses more?
Well, I ask you guys, how's that big win going? Anyone reaping the benefits of it yet? Or are we still in the little pain stage? Far cry from prices coming down on day one.
I'm going to say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane. It is absolutely insane. It is about the 8th reason we've had for the tariffs. And now he's saying he's putting 50% tariffs on Canada unless they agree to become the 51st state. That is insane. There is just no other way of describing it. And the trouble, Kelly, is that it shows there are no bounds around President Trump. This is very different from the first administration.
Mr. Forbes, I actually stopped looking at the market. I've been watching Silence of the Lambs. Yes, sir, you too. I've been watching Silence of the Lambs because it's less scary for me than looking at the stock market.
And this time, the event took place at the Kennedy Center.
I've been so busy, I haven't been able to be here in a long time. And I shouldn't be with what I'm doing. But I thought it was important because I've been hearing reports, and I thought it was very important to make this good. It's a very big part of the fabric of Washington, D.C. Put down some early tariffs on people and countries that were not treating us well. And that's both
And this comes after Trump performed some next-level Olympic verbal gymnastics to avoid discussing further release of the Epstein files, instead insisting during an interview with Sharyl Attkisson that what people really want to see is the release of the Kennedy files.
A lot of intrigue surrounding the release of the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, John F. Kennedy files. Some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records, and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect. And there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it, but they could. But the bottom line is the records are getting out. The Kennedy records are getting out. Those are the ones I really wanted to see the most, with the Kennedys. And during my administration, as you know, I released a lot of them. But then a lot of people started coming in, people that I respected, people that worked for the administration, asked me not to release the rest. And I respected that. They gave me certain reasons, but I respected that. And I did say, I must tell you, I said that probably wish I did release the whole thing because I have no idea what's in there. But since then they found, and we found, 2,000 more documents on Kennedy. And the one they want most is Kennedy, and it's going to be released. It's
People or you, mate? And here's a hint why, folks. Or several hints. I mean, the guy has more pictures with Epstein than he does his own family members.
Of the Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man, and then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would
I
you,
did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
What an odd thing to say.
I didn't know you were going to be talking about this.
And as we know, Attorney General Pam Bondi faced harsh criticism from other members of not just the media and the left, but Trump's coalition last month when she released a round of documents that everyone deemed a nothing burger, which honestly is putting it pretty kindly. And eventually it appeared to be all just a little much for Donnie, who took out his frustration on an NBC reporter while holding an impromptu presser regarding the Kennedy Center, just blatantly refusing to answer a question from said NBC reporter.
Mr. President, when most people think of the Kennedy Center, they think of the Kennedy Center Honors. It takes place in December every year. Is that something that you anticipate hosting at the White House? And what do you think that happens?
We're going to have honors. We're going to have, I think it's going to be a much bigger show than it has been in the past. It got very tired, very boring, very radical left. Unless you were a radical left, it just seemed that nobody was chosen. There are a lot of people out there that can get the honors, and we're going to do it. I think we'll have a very big show. It's going to be a very big show. We have some surprises on that show, some big surprises, but I think it has a chance to be a very big show. That's a big part of the Kennedy Center, the honors that evening. And so I think you're going to be really surprised. I think it's going to get great ratings, actually.
Yes, sir. And when you signed the CR,
Who are you with?
Sir, I'm with NBC.
Oh, that's the same one. I don't want to talk to NBC anymore. I think you're so discredited.
And that's right, the big, bad, free speech loving, tough talking patriot is just throwing his toys firmly out the pram on several occasions. Which, if you ask me, is telling considering poll after poll show his approval ratings tanking.
Yeah, Kristen, and you get to it. Let's just start with Trump himself, that 47% job approval rating. Two ways of looking at this. First of all, if you compare Trump to every recent president, this point after coming into office, Trump's number here is the lowest, significantly the lowest of any of his modern predecessors, except Donald Trump in his first term. He was at 40% at this point in 2017.
On the economy, well, he beat himself on overall, but on the economy, he can't even beat himself. Again, this is historically the worst going back in polling at this point in a presidency, the net approval rating on the economy. He's right now at -4 points. In term number one, he was at +8 points. Historically, the average is +15 points. He is doing nearly 20 points worse than the average president when it comes to the economy on net approval rating. He is historically doing awful,
et cetera, that the Democratic messaging actually has been going pretty well. So talking about they're trying to cut your health care while giving tax breaks to the rich. If you look at the latest Quinnipiac poll, there's over 50% disapproval of Trump himself, how he's handling the economy, how he's handling the federal workforce, how he's handling Ukraine and Russia, how he's handling trade with Mexico, how he's handling trade with Canada. So basically, he's underwater on everything. And a lot of that is due to the fact that Democrats are out there at town halls, like Jason Crow, for instance, held a town hall. He's a representative in Colorado. 1,300 people showed up to that. And there was tons of social feed that came out of that. And we know about the Republicans having town halls and then having to run away or asking questions like, what do you think of Doge? And expecting people to say something positive, and then they're screaming.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.